Hey, it's me, Sonic the Hedgehog. Remember to wipe front to back and subscribe to the first podcast to add a couple inches to your PP.
Oh, Lars. Why do you always want to do this when I'm hungover?
Kudos, if you drink every night, then we don't really have a choice.
Yeah, that has been the case since quarantine.
Is this the intervention episode? Are we finally going to do it?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Long
Let's get into it.
Okay.
Okay. His palms are sweaty. Knees weak. Palms are sweaty. There's palms on the sweater already. Palms are
Sweaty.
Welcome to the T1 podcast featuring ManyKudos.
What the f*** is the T1 podcast?
It's the Tier 1 sub podcast. We're slowly
The Tijuana podcast.
and of course the ever flaccid Doplex.
Hey, welcome to the Tijuana podcast. Today we're going to be discussing Chihuahua cheese and the best place to get elotes. I can say that.
You can.
Quick aside, I can say that because I'm Hispanic.
Yes, he Mexican.
I'm Mexican. You're goddamn Mexa right.
So, on October 30th, you were one of those channels that was sitting at like 9,000 subscribers.
Yes, like Goku says in Dragon Ball Z, he said it's almost 10,000.
Yeah, that's
We're
the
almost
line.
close to 10,000.
That's the line.
Yeah,
Almost 10,000. And Goku said it.
yeah.
Okay, so for context though, today it's, according to Social Blade, it's at 54,100.
Hey, that deserves a song. Hold on.
Yeah.
Hold on. The song is called 50K. Hey. You know it's bigger than 40K.
It sounds like shit on Discord.
Well, it's going to sound a lot better in the recording.
Okay.
Yeah.
The song is called 50K. My balls itch.
Well, anyway, so
Thank you.
according to my internal statistics, I'm on 54.45 thousand, which is a weird number and a weird place to
So
be.
what happened, man? Because that doesn't just happen. Like that. I mean, that's not something.
Lars, I'll have you know, it does just happen. So kind of really no excuse for anyone that it hasn't happened to yet.
Yeah, you just got to let it happen.
So but explain.
I guess I just had a bit of luck in the algorithm, but I guess I had like a good back catalog for people to watch through. One of my videos, my Reddit video, took off. YouTube was like, "All right, this is banging," and it just like out of nowhere started showing it to everyone and their mum, and that blew up big. And then from that, people started watching a bunch of my other content, and then my Belled Out Femme video got hit with an R18 rating just as that was starting to pop off. So that was very cool. So that one died. But then I also had a Yarded Dev video with the enigmatic Justin Wang, like conveniently locked and loaded pretty much. So I was able to drop that like right in the middle of the...
Is he enigmatic?
He's pretty enigmatic, yeah.
No, I think he's Asian.
Oh yeah, my bad.
Those two are not.
Anyway, continue, go on.
Well, anyway, that was like just good timing. And I was able to drop that in the middle of like, I was able to drop that in like the growth, the middle of like the rise or whatever.
Why? Sorry, James. Oh boy.
Fuck you,
There he goes.
There he is. There he's back. He's back.
Okay, continue.
No, I don't want to now. I feel like enough's been said.
All right, tell us about. Okay, so you had. All right, so your Reddit video blew up, and then people were coming to your channel because I remember that video like took off out of nowhere, and that kind of just like set this crazy. Basically, your channel put on some soaps, like those shoes, that Sonic wears.
Yeah.
and then
yeah,
just took off.
Yeah, and it rolled up into a ball. I'd been holding down the B button for however long, and it's and eventually, I let go, and much like Sonic, it then sped off and did the full loop-de-loop and everything, and then hit some spikes, but that's fine.
And then said it's almost 10,000.
Yeah, we did hit over, as Vegeta says in the classic Dragon Ball episode, it is now over 10,000, so that was great. Yeah, it just, I don't know, shit just started banging, and I guess I had some other good videos that YouTube also was happy with. So once the first one took off, the rest just kind of like got lifted up as well. And then I had the Yandere Dev video pretty much ready to go, and so that I was able to kind of ride the wave on that. And that's also like a popular topic, and Justin Wang has a lot of star power as well. So yeah, that video also banged. So it was just kind of like a lot of luck all at once, which I'm sure I've now used up, and it's all downhill from here.
It was a lot of what's that thing you say, Lars? The opportunity meets something.
So
pepperoni.
It was something. Yeah, it was something like opportunity meets pepperoni.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's true, right? Because like they always say like when YouTube catches your video in the algorithm, the best course of action is to upload like immediately, because then it's like, oh, I have something else to show them.
Yeah, exactly. And it was like I was lucky that it was a Yandere Dev video as well, because it's just like quite a contentious topic as well. Like if I just uploaded, I don't know, just some filler whatever bullshit, that wouldn't have been good. So I was kind of lucky in that way. But yeah, here we are, 50K. Thanks for celebrating with me, boys.
Cheers.
How does it feel?
Not really that different.
Oh, okay.
It's like, when you're like every birthday after 21, you're like, oh, it's another one
Any
of these.
day now.
No, it's a really cool feeling. It's something that, like, I don't know, it's been a roller coaster. For a while there, it was like scary almost. It was like, oh god, is this what I really want to, like, there's no turning back now. It's like when I was under 10K, I was like, theoretically I could still just fade into obscurity if I wanted to. But like, not that I want to, but there was just that feeling of like, okay, yeah, I'm committed to this now. This is happening.
Right. Now if you disappear, there's going to be like a bunch of commentary videos made on you, like, whatever happened to ManyKudos?
The rise and fall of ManyKudos. Number 10, Burger
Number
King
15.
foot lettuce.
I think that, well, first of all, none of this even matters, because you did promise on Twitter that you're going to delete your channel at 100K. But I'm kind of curious, like,
actually on my Discord we're having a face reveal at 100K.
Oh, that'd be good.
So stay tuned for that.
That's really, what would be really concerning is if that was actually like not a joke. Like, yeah, I'm actually wearing a human suit. I'm going to show you guys my face.
What a twist that would be, though.
Yeah. Or the Kudos we know isn't even the real one. You just like hired some dude off Craigslist to.
Yeah. I've always thought that would be an interesting idea. Like if someone had a large amount of clout on YouTube and just like decided to start another channel altogether. Like someone like Vsauce Michael was just like, oh, I'm going to prop up this random dude that like lives down the street from me, and he's going to become like Dave Spartan, or I don't know, some like random name. Like, oh, I know Dave Spartan from YouTube. Nope. That's actually a completely random guy who's been shilling. He's been the speaker of my voice for a year. Yeah. I think that'd be a really cool twist.
I've been thinking about just like starting an anonymous like Minecraft channel or something really like piss easy, just seeing what happens, or even like, I don't know, Reddit videos or like some kind of like content that's like very much not what I normally do, and just be completely anonymous about it.
I've sometimes thought that, I think we talked about that as well. It's like it would be very easy, not easy necessarily, but if you took the sort of level of content, say that you do Doplex, which is really fucking well made, and then you just apply that to fucking video game top 10s, or, just like some kind of trashy, easy to consume content that like would do really well. That's like not really what you want to do, but it's like would be the fast track to having a channel blow up or whatever, or like you focus on one popular video game, like, oh fuck, my channel's now just like telling you literally everything there is about Cyberpunk once that comes out, like all the here's like what this ending means and here's what this and that means. And like you just did nothing but that. You could probably grow a channel pretty massive, but then you're boxed into being only about that.
That's why you gotta.
Speaking of Reddit video content, what was this about Sorrow apparently like losing his channel, but then he didn't?
Who?
Sorrow TV.
Wait, why does that name sound so familiar?
Massively popular Reddit reader guy. Like 1.5 million subs.
Maybe it was because he was reading Reddit posts. Just maybe they were like, "This is
no." Here, I'll put it in the recording chat. Let's see.
Weird. Yeah, those Reddit reading ones are interesting. Like, I can definitely see why they're good. It definitely feels like kind of lazy content, but I mean, fuck, they do well, so whatever.
Yeah, so I was thinking about this the other day. Nexpo, who does, he has a series called the Chronicles of Reddit, and it's basically like these. It's literally the only Reddit videos that I fucking love because it's like, I mean, Nexpo is insanely talented, and the way he does his shit, it's all like very like, ominous, and he basically just reads like these crazy like real posts that are, it's like horror porn, right? It's just like, this woman, her husband was spying on her, and she knocked over a vase, and he beat her. It was like, shit like that. Yeah. That's not what happened in the video,
Sweet. But yeah, how interesting. Wasn't that how Corpse Husband got big? Is that a thing?
I think so. Yeah. And he talks like this. Hey, this Corpse Husband. That's my Corpse Husband impersonation.
I still haven't watched a single piece of Corpse Husband content or Corpse content in general.
I feel like we probably have like one female listener and they just left after that last bit.
Probably. Sorry. Well, I mean, she's probably 13, so it didn't matter if she got offended. So you put it Corpse Husband.
Doplex only kids if they're over 18.
Sorry, hold on.
I didn't know what to do with that one.
If I can't leverage my position in the T1 podcast to get some gash,
what is this T1 podcast you're talking about?
The Tijuana
I don't understand.
That's
not the name of the podcast.
It's the Tijuana podcast.
It's the Tijuana podcast.
No.
Oh, hey. Lars.
You ever have a bacon wrap hot dog?
Wait, what the fuck are we talking? Hold on. Let's reel it back. Everyone. Okay. Doplex are getting too silly.
All right, let's talk about Corpse
Husband. We were talking about how
Doplex
really cares about like the age of the listeners.
No, not the listeners. The fans of Corpse Husband. Listen, I want to elaborate on that a little bit. I don't think Corpse Husband is a bad person, right? It's just his fan base is like the epitome of cringe. It's just like these fucking 13-year-old girls. What was that one chick that got like his hair revealed tattooed on her? I don't know how old she was. But
yeah, that was cool.
It was weird. I don't know. He might not even like. I wonder if he knows about it. Honestly,
he probably doesn't. I do wonder. There's so many creators, like especially the ones who are just really like they seem like really genuine, cool people. Have some of the worst fucking fans. I don't know what. Maybe it's probably just like a vocal minority thing where you're just hearing from the fucking spastic ones who are like the ones going out and like harassing people and being aggressive and assholes and stuff.
I guess that's true. I'm assuming that's probably like the equivalent to like the K-pop stans who, K-pop isn't bad, but the fan base can be kind of crazy. I mean, like somebody dies. I don't think they do it anymore because it was such a meme. But like when somebody dies, like, oh, you wouldn't have died if you stand Luna, and it's like a fucking fan cam.
Those sort of people, I mean, like it's just most of them are just young, like. Children with malformed brains, but it's like imagine if they actually did get to meet their idol and their idol sat there and like scrolled through their Twitter feed and they were like, so why did you tell this person to kill themselves? Like, do you reckon they would just like melt into paste or crumble, like they do all this shit like on behalf of the band kind of or the singer or whoever, but the singer's probably like, if they actually saw it, they'd be like, this is disgusting and you're a horrible person. Then they'd probably
or what if they're in full support? Like BTS is having like that's
the real message behind all their music. It's so funny because like you always see the fans when they're like defending their K-pop band or whatever, they're always like, oh, but all their music is about love and they stand for this and that. But then like the fans do the complete opposite. You know, like
kill yourself.
It's like
you don't like I don't know. Give me a K-pop guy name.
Jungkook.
Give me a name. You don't like Jungkook? Kill yourself. Do it.
Yeah. Oh, what the
Sorry.
fuck? Who's this?
This took a hard turn. Let's. So okay, so you wait. Okay, what was the last thing we talked about? Your Belle Delphine video, and then you posted your no, it was your Reddit video, and then your Yandere. Am I saying that right?
Yandere, that dang Yandere game.
And then Doplex was like, she was 13. It's really important that she was 13.
I did not.
Doplex was really caught up on having 13-year-old fans for some reason. I don't know.
Right. Well, you know, that's where the money is. I hear.
What does that mean?
You know,
actually, wait. Can we talk about K-pop some more? Because that was interesting to me. I think Johnson retweeted or pointed at something a wee while ago. Do you remember when Mr. Breast did that thing where whoever ratioed him the most on his tweet got 10 grand or something? And it became a big thing between, it was some YouTuber, I can't remember who, and some random K-pop. Random K-pop
account.
It was like a
BTS fan page.
Yeah. And the BTS fan page was like, if I win, I'm going to donate
Corpse Husband, actually, full circle.
Oh, well, yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. But they, the BTS one, it was what I felt was interesting from that is the 10 grand that they won was donated to a group, one of many groups that helps fans who can't afford the new BTS album to pay for it, which I thought was...
Wait, is that what it was? I thought it was like to help BTS record their next album.
Oh, they probably don't need the money. I don't know.
Because I remember Corpse Husband was going to donate it to charity, and then like the BTS fan page was like, we're gonna help BTS record a new album. I could be completely wrong.
I think it was like $5 grand was going to go to this page I was talking about, where it then buys albums for people who can't afford it, and then the other $5 grand was going to some BTS themed charity. I think I could be wrong. But yeah, I just thought that was fascinating that there's these entire groups out there dedicated to giving money to, I guess, impoverished BTS fans.
Right. Even though YouTube totally isn't
it
free.
Drives up their album purchases or whatever. I thought that K-pop's like a different world. I like there's some really good K-pop out there. It's just really interesting when you then take a step back and look at all the fandoms and all the things that people do and the weird like micro communities and everything.
Yeah. I will say though, like the BTS fandom, it's definitely subsided a lot. Like I feel like, I don't know if a lot of them just kind of grew up, but like I don't see as many like really crazy ones, you know what I mean, as it was before. Like now it just feels like more of a regular fan base.
Yeah, sure.
Which is, I mean, you would think like if you want people to respect like if you're spending all your time dedicated to this artist that you love, like you would think that you kind of want to represent them in a specific way, like when you're just out in like just the digital open world. I don't know.
Rice Pirate in the chat says he keeps hearing that those singers are caged and mistreated worse than factory farm beakless eyeless chickens.
That actually, you know what? Because I remember I was hanging out with my friend who's like, she's massive into K-pop, and she was like showing me all these videos and stuff. And yeah, it's pretty much, I actually heard a similar quote from, I think it was like the Beatles, where they were like, we can now go to any hotel in the world. Because like they were now rich and famous enough to be able to afford to just fly anywhere, but they just physically couldn't leave their hotels because they would get mobbed by, fans. And like Beatlemania was fucking off the, like, that was even crazier than K-pop, Yeah. But that's to say, like these beautiful little Korean men they can fly to all these amazing locations and all these big cities and everything, and then they're literally stuck in a hotel and they cannot leave, at all. But my friend was showing me videos of like they film. Well, I went to one. I'll tell you about that. But yeah, but like they like filmed like shows in their hotels because they're so fucking bored. Right. And so they were like, oh, this the one we watched, it was a BTS one, and they were like, oh, we're gonna record a new song just from, oh no, that was it. They were gonna like record a music video for one of their songs that didn't have a music video, like just in the hotel. So it was like a low budget, and like it was just them. They didn't have any like photographers or filmography or lighting. Yeah, it was like, what can us make with just our phones? And I mean, like it was kind of cool, but I was like, man, these guys are trapped. They literally cannot leave.
Yeah, that sucks.
Yeah, but I mean, I guess that's the life they chose.
I guess so. I mean, it's cool, but like that also kind of sucks. Like, I don't know. I feel like it's like one of those things with an insane, unfathomable amount of fame comes like literally. It's at the cost of your social life. It's at the cost of your freedom. Like you can't even fucking like go to 7-Eleven and grab a taquito really quick without being ravaged by, I don't know, a busload of 13-year-olds.
It's also like, and I'm sure so much of their life is controlled. Like they'll be told like, oh, you're not allowed to have a relationship, or you're not allowed to do this or that because, you know, half of our revenue comes from girls imagining they were with you, or vice versa. Like imagine if you're a female K-pop star, it's probably even worse. But yeah, your whole life would be controlled by these fucking terrifying like record producing corporations and everything. It'd be a vibe. It'd be interesting to see, you know, how long the K-pop thing sticks around for, if you know, if it does die or not.
I don't know, man. I mean, like I get it, but at the same time, no one's really like forcing them into doing it that way. Like, I mean, it's not like slavery or anything. Like, obviously, you know, some of those conditions are not ideal, especially considering like certain bands and certain situations and stuff. But I don't know, like, they don't have to do this though. I mean, they could choose to kind of hang on to more of their, maybe that's a cultural thing. Because like in America, if you want to keep things kind of in-house, you can, and do things the way that you want to in the music industry. Like it's possible. Is it just different in Korea, or?
Yeah,
maybe. I mean, maybe they like see these boys and are like, oh, you're pretty and you could sing. Well, sign this contract. We own you now.
I mean, record contracts are famously pretty restrictive even in like the West, but I imagine Korea probably like the idol stuff is next level shit. I really wouldn't be surprised if they were very like exceptionally controlling in many ways. But then again, I'm not a little beautiful Korean boy that dances around, so
that's true.
Well, what if you were someone who just didn't want to do that though? Like, would they stop you? I mean,
hold on. I just want to read this out. Rice Poet said he just wanted to pop and give kudos to the Unity vid. Every time I watch a deep dive on the project, I feel there's a ton of lessons, reminders of things to avoid. Not that I feel prone to most of the faults pointed out. Oh, my brain. However, the idea of biting off more than you can chew deaf hits hard. And also avoid overhyping a project in its infancy. Word up, I respect that. Rice Pirate. And also shout out to Rice Pirate for doing voice work for my like 4th video. I don't know if you remember that, dude, but I hit you up and commissioned some voice work. And you did an amazing job. I got you to do a Rod Serling impression of me talking about jerking off to Zelda when I was 10 years old. And you absolutely crushed it. So thanks Rice Pirate for laying down the helping grow my channel. It's my memes video. If anyone's curious, the intro was Rice Pirate.
Shouts out to the king.
Yeah, shout out to the king. What a legend. Been a fan since way back, dude. But anyway, let me stop fangirling for 5 seconds.
I feel like all of this, like my thoughts on this would depend on just how much bank they're making versus how weird the labels are about it. Like, I'm sure there's lots of shitty situations, but like some of my sympathy goes away if it's like they're going to be young millionaires and like be able to retire comfortably at 25. Like,
yeah, but how much of that money actually goes to them? You know, like I'm sure.
Well,
I'm sure.
Oh, see, here's the thing, Doplex. When you're that big, like when you're in the top, even if you only make a small percentage of it, the sales are going to be enormous. So you're going to make a decent amount of money either way.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
Like if you look at
sweatpants,
I could be talking about something that's culturally different in Korea. I don't know, but I know in America, like the top artists, they have like razor thin percentages that they actually make on the music compared to the record labels, but they still make bank just because so many fucking people stream it and so many people buy the albums.
Yeah. Well, the big thing that I think most artists do, like when they get big, is they start their own record label because that's where the real money is. That's why, you know, Dr. Dre started his one, and that's why Eminem started one, and like Drake started. As soon as you get enough money, you're like, fuck this. I'm getting absolutely gypped out of so much money, and they'll start their own and you know, take it from there. So it seems like that's what the smart ones do. Or they do like a Chameleonaire and just make one banger song, dip out. And now he's like an investment mogul, isn't he? He's like a big
Just like Leafy.
Yeah. He
just
took
like
the Leafy route. Yeah.
I think another person we should look at is 50 Cent. You know, my man's branched off and made a video game, Blood on the Sand.
He made 2, didn't he?
Oh yeah, he did. What was the other one? Die or die trying. Blood on the water. Jacked off or die.
I hear one of them was shit and one of them was actually really good.
Yeah.
Blood on the Sand's meant to be like kind of good, isn't it? Like it's kind of better than expected.
It's like very much a PS2 game.
Yeah, ultimately what I don't want to do, on the one hand, I don't want to turn a blind eye to the suffering of rich people in some situations, but then at the same time, they're rich people. So it's like, it can only be so bad.
Yeah, but I mean, if you look at people like Britney Spears, right? Like she's been like a fucking musician since like the 90s, like super big, and like she's still fighting battles to like basically get custody over her estate from her dad. Like, I don't know if that's the right terminology. I don't know law speak, but like
that's not what it is, but it's close.
You know what I mean? But like that's fucking
after she
crazy.
Had a breakdown where she shaved her head, wasn't it? Like her dad took control of her life and her assets and everything, wasn't it? Because she was considered to be not mentally sane enough, or mentally well enough to look after herself. And even though she's been totally fine since, as far as I know, they still have that weird hold on her. It's
really weird. And like, how old is she? How old is Britney Spears? Jamie, pull that up. Lars, we need a Jamie. TJ, pull that up.
Yeah.
I don't know how old Britney Spears is.
Pull that up.
But like, she's a fucking grown ass woman. Like, I don't know. It's crazy to me.
She must be like pushing 40 something now, right?
I think so. But like, is she like mentally unfit? Like, is that the reasoning? I'm so confused.
There's those really weird TikToks and stuff like that they have you seen those? Where, there's like TikToks and shit where she looks like it's like a prisoner trying to like blink to like Morse code help me. Like they all feel really off.
It is very unsettling, yeah.
It's her just like dancing and music and shit, but it's like really like someone's behind the camera making you do this to be like, look, she's fine, she's dancing.
Dance, bitch.
Dance, bitch, just like you used to. Yeah.
Oh yeah. I had my keyboard on standby like I normally do.
Oh, this is embarrassing.
There we go.
Thank you.
So Kudos and I were chatting the other day, by the way, on Twitter, and something came up. And I'm sure that we're like far from the first people to make this observation, but we were talking about the idea of like male enhancement pills. Do you remember this?
Yeah. This is definitely a conversation we had. Continue on.
I think we should discuss this.
Yes.
Because it's kind of one of those weird situations where like, so male enhancement pills, what do you, just to someone in the chat here, I'll give you 3 guesses as to what they're enhancing. And
hold on, I can speak to this if you need a testimonial.
Yeah, a testiclemonial.
Testiclemonial. I've taken when I was 18 and I was working at the adult store. I took them and went to the gym because I heard that they're supposed to make you work out better because they raise your testosterone levels. I had a boner the entire time I was in the gym. I had to leave. I had to fucking leave, dude.
You could do cock push-ups.
Yeah, I guess I could.
It's man, I feel like you've got so many stories from your time at a sex store. Can we hear some?
Yeah.
Like every time it's like pulling a string on like a plush doll. I just want to like pull your string and then you tell another sex store story because there's so many.
Wait, so did you just buy Viagra?
No. So like, have you ever been to like a gas station? Like you see those pills that are like in those little cases.
Have I ever been to a gas station?
Have you ever gotten gas? Do you own a car?
Another hard-hitting question from the Tijuana podcast.
The Tijuana. Hey, fucker. Yeah, but like that's the type of shit we sold. It was basically just like, it was like, it doesn't, like, okay, the word enhancement, right? It doesn't actually enhance anything. Literally all it does, it just like loosens up your blood so that way your penis gets hard and just stays hard. But like the way you sell it is like it's gonna like boost your testosterone levels and like you're gonna be more manly. You're gonna like be able to have so much more energy. You can replace it with pre-workout. You can just like was like all these things, but like realistically, all it does is it fucking gives you a boner. Like that's it.
Yeah. Which I suppose if you took one and then you got a raging boner, you'd be like, damn, I am manly. Look at this fucking hog.
It just boosts your confidence level.
I'm capable of an erection.
Yeah. Because it's like, remember when in like high school when you just get random boners just 24/7, and it was like a real 50-50 whether or not it would go away in time by the end of class when you had to stand up and like walk out. Right. You'd always be like, fuck, go away. And they were painful as well. They were like just these intense random erections.
Didn't you have those buddies that like taught you to flick your testicle to get rid of it in a jiffy?
No.
Oh, you have
the
to
way you do it,
you flick your ball and it goes away.
You flex your butt and you're like your quads and shit, and it drains all the blood.
Guys, really easy solution. Okay, so you know how there's those like plastic tubes that have like the filament in them, and when you crack them, they give off light.
Glow sticks.
Like glow sticks.
Yeah, glow sticks. Yes, the same thing. Just crack your penis.
You put one of those down your pee hole.
I did have a friend who ate like the glow stick juice, and I swear I don't know if he was fucking with me. I don't know if he was fucking with me, but like I remember he like brought me into it. Like we were in elementary school, and he was like, "Dude, my poop is glowing." And he like turned off the lights in his bathroom, but I think he was just fucking with me. Now that I think about it, because I don't think that
he just made you look at shit.
Yeah,
that was
he just wanted me to look at it.
Yeah,
fucking he got you. That's a classic gag. Make someone look at your shit.
Wow.
One of the OGs.
The original point I was trying to make is that, like, okay, so if there actually was a male enhancement pill, like an actual, this is going to make your dick longer pill.
Okay. Yeah.
That it wouldn't sell because 100% of people would automatically assume that it's bullshit. So, like, even if there is one dude out in, like, Nova Scotia or something who has actually created the penis enlargement pill, they would never sell a dime.
That's very true. Yeah. We did actually talk about this. I thought you were fucking with me when you said we talked about this on Twitter. I do remember us talking about this now. Yeah. Because do you reckon it's kind of ruined the whole science of penis enlargement studies? Like no one's bothering anymore because they're like, dude, even if we make a major breakthrough, no one's gonna fucking believe us.
Yeah, exactly. Like there could be important research done on this.
That's a good point. Yeah. Well, I think the main thing you'd want to do is like if you were to formulate something like that, you'd want to get like some crazy either celebrity behind it or like some porn company. You know, like if Brazzers was pushing that.
If Brazzers was pushing it, I would think that was shit. That was nonsense.
That's true. And by default, you would enter your credit card information on Brazzers anyway.
If I respect Brazzers with my pornography, I'm sure I could trust them with my penis enlargement pills as well.
Yeah. Oh yeah, of course. No, I feel like if you got, I know that people don't like him very much these days, but like this could be a redemption arc for him. I feel like if you got Neil deGrasse Tyson to do it, like he could demonstrate like live on cameras or something.
My dick is getting longer than the circumference of the earth.
What if it was like extended out an inch, but it was like right in the middle and it extended out and it was like scar tissue. So it looks like you'd like cut your dick and then extended it out a bit, like you extruded it. So so
you just have like a long string.
So it really hurts when you have sex. Yeah.
But like it's really obvious where the extra inch came from. Like it's not just kind of even across the whole thing. It's all concentrated on like a band in the middle.
Right. I wonder if you can get like surgery, like kind of like skin grafting. Like, you know, like when you
dick and balls.
Yeah, like, you know, like, oh, take a little bit off my ass and just put it like, you know, on the base of my dick. I wonder if that's possible.
Isn't it weird that we can do that? Like, you can mold humans like fucking clay. Like, you can be like, let's just take some off here. We'll slap it over here.
Yeah.
And then it'll just keep growing for some reason.
Well, I mean, yes, we can do that. But there's a difference between that and then that same thing, but it looks pleasant. Like, that's not necessary.
Oh, right.
You can't just take like your ass cheek and make it like extra penis and have it like
you are now penis skin.
Yeah, it's like it would be longer of a dick, but at the same time, like every woman who had ever saw it would scream and burst into tears. So it's like it wouldn't be worth it.
Right. You know, I actually had to go to a burn ward when I was when I was in high school because like I pretty much a long story. I burnt my apartment down on accident, and it was like this whole thing. It was like part of like
what the fuck, Doplex?
It was part of my punishment. I had to go to a burn ward, and you pretty much you do it just like learn about fire. It's like, you know, like this is what could happen if you start a fire, and you know it's just life lessons for a 14-year-old kid. And I was definitely afraid of fire. Just seeing little kids.
Okay, hold on.
Charred to a crisp.
I really think you skipped over the interesting part of that story, which is that you burnt your house down.
Oh yeah.
Can you elaborate on that, please?
Sure. Yeah. So I was in high school. I think I was like 14 or something, and I was like I was just like fucking around with a lighter, and I remember I was like on the phone, and I was lighting up some pants, like, you know, like the little phrase, like, you know, when you rip your knee or something, a little phrase sticking out. It was like hanging in my closet, and I was lighting it on fire, and I was putting it out, and I think I was on the phone or something, and then I went to go straighten my hair because I was a little dumbass, and then the next thing I know, the smoke alarm's going off, and then my mom is like, smacking the fire with like one of those big Mexican blankets, but then the blanket catches fire, and then she chucks it into my room. And then the whole thing was just it was game over at that point.
Okay, so your whole house just burned down.
Yeah, well, it was an apartment, but yeah.
I think we got your new rapper name, little dumbass.
Little dumbass.
little dumbass.
Hey, it's your boy, little dumbass. Yeah.
Yo, his knees are spaghetti. Arms like spaghetti. There's vomit on the spaghetti, sweaty. Spaghetti.
Hey. All right, this is gonna be my debut track as Lil Dumbass. Yeah. Lil Dumbass. Not big dumbass. That's my father.
Another successful Tijuana podcast bit.
Hey, fucker.
Wow.
Welcome to the Tijuana podcast. Today we're gonna be discussing arson and shit.
Doplex, is your dad also 5'6"?
I think so, yeah.
That sucks.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. He didn't even have a chance.
I know. I was cursed from the start.
Well, I mean, it worked for his dad. Like, you know, he made Doplex. There's proof that he fucked. So
that is true. So
you know.
I shouldn't be a virgin for any much longer if things go according to plan.
One time I got taken to a burn ward was when I posted on Facebook back in like high school. It was like, I think it was just something I saw online and I thought it was funny. It was like, every single one of your ancestors has managed to get laid. And then my friend replied with a proud tradition that ends with you. And I was like, damn, that's going to burn ward.
That's a good burn.
That is a good burn. Shout out to my friend Hollis for fucking mincing me with that one. I still think about that. That was Hollis. Like 10 years ago.
I wonder if he still thinks about it every day. He has that interaction
he's got it
framed on his wall.
Like framed on his wall. He does have the receipt for the time he got a 15 cheeseburger framed on his wall.
I'm sorry, a what?
It was
a 15 cheeseburger?
Yeah. You know, if you go to McDonald's, you can like add shit.
Yeah.
If you go, this is before they had computers, like the touchscreen things. If you just went at like 2 a.m. and like you had to walk through the drive-through because the store part was closed, and you're a bit drunk, you could ask them to do anything and they would do it. And the chefs were so bored at that hour that they were just like keen to fuck around. So yeah, he got a cheeseburger and added 15 pieces of cheese. It was like just a cube of cheese, and only the bottom and the top pieces were melted and the rest was all cold. and I'm pretty sure the chef came over and he's like, I want to watch you eat that. Like he came up to the window.
I want to watch you eat
that. Yeah. He was curious. But the receipt is like, it's funny. It's like, cheeseburger plus cheese, plus cheese, plus cheese, plus cheese, plus cheese. Like it's all the way down.
Because when you said this was from before computers, I was thinking, how old are you? Like, wow.
I think you meant the computers at McDonald's.
The computers. I should have specified. My bad. I'm not that old.
If we can go back to short guys, Rice Pirate said Chris Ray Gun is like 4'3". I can attest to that because I've met him. He's
really?
he's a short dude. Yeah, I still feel bad, and I have this like thing in the back of my mind whenever I see him, like it just on because I love his content, right? And like the first thing I said to him,
hate his height.
Well, when I met him, I was like, "Oh, dude, you're a lot shorter in person," and I don't think he liked that. But like, I feel so bad about that because like I'm a short king myself, right? And like, I felt so bad about that. So
coming from you as well, I don't know if that's like more of a burn or more of
that's
like
what I'm saying.
You're one of us.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Chris, if you ever listen to this, which I doubt you will, I'm sorry, King. This song goes out to you.
Yeah, I was gonna say like this would be a good opportunity to do like an official podcast apology.
Right. Here it is. Chris Raygun. You're a tall man. At heart, you get bitches who are a lot taller than you. But I bet the sex is great. Do you go up on a girl? Does she go down on you? Let me know the logistics. If you have any photos, I'd like to see those too.
Just when I think of really small guys fucking, I just think of like Jack Russell's. Like he's like hanging
Jack
on like
Russell's?
doggy style, like hang, you know, like the little, yeah, he's when they're doing doggy.
Doggy.
I just imagine he'll be like on the back, like holding on for dear life, or just fucking like he's got that small dog like twitchy energy, you know?
Yeah. I think you're gonna have to issue an apology now.
You know, I've had like my issues in my life, but I'm really thankful that like one of them is not the fact that like logistics have entered into my sex life at all. Like I've never had to like negotiate like in terms of their height or their positions and stuff.
Well, you
like,
have to have sex first.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
And since I've had sex, I've never had to deal with that.
What's it like?
Yeah. Hey, can I just say this episode's dedicated to all women? You know,
well, that goes without saying. All of our episodes are dedicated to women.
I think women don't get enough appreciation in today's society.
That's true.
And I'd personally just like on behalf of the Tijuana podcast, I'd just like to say thank you, women, for everything you do for us and the community.
Hey, Highness, te quiero mucho. Welcome to the Tijuana podcast.
Hey, Doplex, this is an American podcast, so could you please?
I'm speaking American, fucker.
Oh, okay. Next topic, Lars, go.
Kind of put me on the spot on my own podcast here. I don't know what to do.
Go, hurry.
Maybe turn the lights down low. Let's negotiate some sex.
Oh, so I'm going to talk about my purchases this week. Okay. The famous Lars going through his receipts segment of the podcast.
I think we need a theme song. I won't write it, but just like put a little jingle before this. This could be a new segment.
Lars's purchase corner.
What did he get this week?
I love it. Okay. I think I should commission someone on Fiverr to make that song. That'd be great. Okay. So first of all, my Xbox controller broke, so I got an Xbox controller. And it was surprisingly hard to find right now because everyone's buying an Xbox controller.
Everybody's gaming.
Yeah.
You heard about this? You seen this?
Yeah, it's almost as if there's a pandemic and gaming is up.
Hey, Jeffrey, pull that up.
What's the deal with gaming?
Yep, so I got that.
Jerry, I need to borrow your GameCube.
I also got a 6 terabyte external hard drive, so now I have a lot of space.
Oh.
Yeah, I was running out of room with the podcast recordings and stuff.
And massive quotations.
Yeah.
You know, Lars, you can finally be one of those people that, you know, people get busted with like 3 terabytes of child porn, and you're like, how the fuck do you have that much?
No, you have a way to
anything?
burn it, Lars.
Yeah, no, you can conveniently put it all on one drive.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I can't even imagine how you'd fill that much of like any, like, how much is that? I can't even imagine having that much normal porn. it's like dedication.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like, so like if you're, obviously if someone's into child porn, that's fucked up, but it's also like weird that they seem to have like, yeah, like
a lot of
terabytes and like petabytes of the stuff. Like they're just sitting there.
Petabytes.
How can you even download a petabyte of that kind? Like,
what is a petabyte?
I think that's 1,000. No, I know. I realize that it's ironic considering the subject matter, but I think that's 1,000 terabytes.
PETA.
Oh wow,
like Peter.
Yeah,
petabyte.
Oh, so you have to have a lot of child porn to get that status. That's like a trophy.
I think that's what Jared Fogle had.
Oh,
yeah, petabytes.
They're like Smaug. They just hoard it. They like to just.
But you have to really, really try to download a petabyte of anything. Like, it's hard to do. So it's like
not very conspicuous either, right? Like, surely if some ISP was like, "Damn, this guy's downloading literal petabytes of information," it's either going to be, it's only going to be child porn. There's nothing else it could be,
right? Exactly.
But like, why do you need that much? I mean, why do you need it at all? But like, why that much? Like,
again, I feel like that's what I'm saying. It's like they just collect it like Smaug. It's like Pokemon cards. They're like, gotta catch them all.
I think that might be kind of like a testament to the fact that obviously if you're into that kind of stuff, your brain is like not right in some way. So you probably have some like coincidental issues, like probably hoarding, OCD kind of stuff.
But specifically child porn.
Do you reckon it's like if you're in it, the idea is if you're in it for the long haul, it's like you can't, you're all in or you're not at all. So they're like, fuck it. I'm down. Once you downloaded one video, you're like, well,
gotta download all
3
of them.
terabytes now.
It's them proving themselves to NAMBLA or whatever their fucking organization is called.
Yeah. Maybe that's it. It's like the secret organizations. It's like, you have to prove yourself. Download every video there is.
It's like, when you're in elementary school and they tell you to like sell the cookie dough.
Yeah.
You'll get this boomerang monkey.
I could see it.
We had to sell chocolate bars. It was chocolate bars and cheese rolls, which is a very
same time
Southern Kiwi thing that no one outside New Zealand knows about. But goddamn, cheese rolls are good.
What's a cheese roll?
If you guys want, it's like the poor man's toasted sandwich or toasty. I don't know what the fuck you call those. You call them grilled cheeses, I think.
Oh yeah.
Cheese rolls are from like the Otago region of New Zealand, which is like where I'm from. It's a good Southern man food. It's literally white bread, like me. You get some cheese, just like fucking whatever tasty, Edam, whatever the hell, generic ass cheese. Mix in onion soup mix, like from a packet, like dried onion soup mix, and I think that's maybe like some kind of cream cheese or butter or something, just a little bit. And then you just you put a single layer on the bread, and then you roll it up so it's in a roll, and then you just fucking bake it.
So it's like ball soup as a food, basically. This sounds awful.
It's amazing. It's literally just like a toasted sandwich, but with one piece of bread that you roll up.
I'd try it.
They're fucking good, man. It's cheese and bread, so like, how could that not be?
Right.
It's cheese, bread, and onions, so just a winning combination.
I feel like that's something that'd be really hard to fuck up.
I feel like that's not a good sign. Like, if something's not that hard to fuck up, maybe it's just not that, like, I don't know, like there's more to food than that. Like maybe we should be making things that are easy to fuck up because they're complicated recipes that take advantage of the many different flavors that exist.
Yeah.
I think there's a place for all types of food, Lars. I feel like you can have easy food, you can have hard food, It's not,
I don't know, man.
It's not the difficulty that determines the quality of it.
That's spoken like someone who doesn't know how to make very good food.
Yeah. Hey man, I make fucking great food. In fact, I've been planning to do a cooking show on my channel for fucking ages. But
I think the first thing you should make is that cheese roll.
Is cheese rolls?
Balls soup.
Someone look up cheese rolls from New Zealand and put a picture in chat, just so like to show. They're great with soup. You have it with like a nice soup and you dip it in because they're like the perfect shape for dipping. It's great.
Speaking of very uncomplicated recipes, I'm just going to put this out there just because, like, I know a lot of people have heard of this, but just in case you haven't heard of this, this is your lucky day. I'm going to put it in the chat. Have you guys seen this before?
Oh, yeah, wait. James will put them in chat. That's the fucking business.
Oh, dude, that looks fucking bomb.
So you
Great
buy
follow-up,
them,
TJ.
You
That's my Mariah Carey cosplay. Oh,
they,
yeah.
Okay, Lars is really forcing us to watch this, huh?
All right, let's see this.
So this is how to make a 3-cheese blend. Basically, what you do is you take 3 cheeses.
This guy's goofy.
And you put them together.
Shredded mozzarella.
Why is this a video? This reminds me of that. What's that other like house
really
food channel?
Yes.
What was it? Something Village? Do you guys remember that weird?
I know what you're talking about. Yeah,
God
something
damn it, what
Village.
one is it? And it was just how-to videos that were like
I'm pretty sure
made by
H3 did a
aliens.
video on them.
Yeah, he
Expert
did. That was
Village.
like
Expert
Expert
Village. There
Village.
you go. That's
what a
it.
fucking weird channel.
Like this guy literally just combined 3 fucking kinds of cheeses. This warranted a whole video. I mean, it was only 55 seconds, but geez.
The top comment is, I get the cheese part, but can you teach us how to get the bowl ready? Oh my god. That was great. Thank you for sharing, Lars.
That was great. That was fantastic.
But anyway, yeah, shout out to Cheese Rolls. So you used to sell like frozen bags of them because you can freeze them, obviously. And yeah, so that was like a school fundraiser as well. And they're fucking good.
Can you ship me some?
No.
Okay.
They will be awful. They'll probably all unravel. Yeah.
It's like the least appetizing thing I can imagine is cheese rolls shipped from New Zealand to Southern California.
Right. I mean,
it'll take a couple of months.
I think if you package them like, you know, maybe with like a little motor in it, constantly supplying cold.
I mean, you also have bread and cheese in America, so you probably could just recreate it quite easily.
Like these are not exotic ingredients
Oh
at
yeah,
all.
I guess yeah.
So
I guess that's
Yeah.
true. I could just make them myself.
I always thought it was weird how pies never took off in the States, like meat pies, because it seems like it's everything you guys eat. But,
I mean, we have chicken pot pie, which is
well, that's the chicken pot pie is the only thing. Every time I bring it up with Yanks, is like that's the only thing they say. But it's like, but like a steak pie with fucking gravy and shit.
I mean,
it's like it's amazing.
The closest thing that I think that we have to something like that are like savory crepes, which are pretty good. Like it's basically just like a pancake with like steak and mushrooms.
okay, so we actually do have a steak pie, but here it's called a beef Wellington. Are you guys familiar with this?
Oh,
Isn't beef Wellington like?
It's basically like a meat strudel.
Yeah, but that's just a slab of meat.
Yeah, no, it's not.
It's like wrapped in dough. I've seen it on Hell's Kitchen.
Let me find a picture of this, just so people know what we're talking about.
It looks like a medium rare fleshlight.
Most parts throwing shade at European meat pies. I actually haven't had a European meat pie, but meat pies in New Zealand and Australia are. I've always wanted to make a beef Wellington. They look fucking tasty.
Yeah, it is technically British cuisine, but it's like people do make it here too. It's pretty good.
But I'm talking like a meat pie where it's like chunks of meat, like a mince meat or strips of steak or whatever, and then like in a gravy. Again, like a chicken pot pie, but with beef instead of chicken.
Like what
So
James
good.
Miller just posted.
Yeah, sort of like that.
By the way, I hope you're gathering all these Doplex because you're gonna add them to the
I know.
render.
Shit, you're right. God damn it.
To quote a classic Doplex quote, have you ever been to a gas station? The gas stations here in Australia and New Zealand, like they just always have a pie warmer with just a bunch of like meat pies in it, and that's just like the snack you get when you're on the road, you know. And they're fucking good. My favorite's a peppered steak pie. It's just like steak and gravy with like a lot of pepper and like a bit of chili.
Oh.
So it's like real peppery and delicious. But you can get like fucking buttered chicken pies. You can get like potato top pies where it's got like mashed potato on top. Mince and cheese is the classic. Oh,
mince and cheese?
Yeah.
Like
it's just mince and cheese.
No, mincemeat.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, no, yeah. No,
like,
no, Doplex was right.
Yeah, just breath,
like,
breath mince and craft cheese. All right, let's stop talking about food. Let's move on to Lars. We cut you off.
Wait.
Why? We cut you off on your Lars's economy stimulating corner, prostate stimulating corner.
Oh yeah, so Lars wanted to talk about the economy.
No, I want to talk about my purchases.
Oh yeah, your purchases. Tell us about your purchases. So you bought the male enhancement pills, and what else?
Yeah.
An Xbox controller.
The mince and the mince and cheese pie.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
All right, are we done with the jokes, or can we continue?
Yeah.
Lars, as long as you're here, the jokes will never cease, my friend.
Aha! I'm surprised how much like chaotic energy Kudos is adding by himself, even without James Miller around. Like this has been pretty sloppy so far.
Yeah, but that's okay. That's just that's part of Kudos' flavor.
I also got a 25-foot USB cord.
Why?
Like the cable's 25 feet, or the actual USB part is?
Obviously the cable. Obviously the cable. What do you think, dumbass?
The metal part's 90 fucking feet long. You have to get a run up with it like a. Do
you want me to edit that out? Do you want me to edit that question out? Are you sure you want people thinking that this was your question?
Yes, I want that in. I want it played twice with reverb.
Slow motion.
And then I want it to kind of snap back with Doplex's, the cable's 25 feet or the extra USB part is...
It's like, I know that Doplex has his moments where he's like, what's homemade ranch? But I think that just tops them all at that point.
Yeah. It is something I do have a really fucking long metal USB and it takes it's so hard to slot in.
So, by the way, it's really cool having a 25-footer, man. I don't know what to say. I can charge anything from anywhere. Like, I could charge my next door neighbor's phone if I wanted to.
As long as they're 25 feet away.
It's great. Like, it's like, I had like
it's kind of a
2-foot one really. For some reason, and it's like, I don't think a $7.99 purchase is a flex, but
do you walk around with it tied up on like the back of your belt, like in Tomb Raider,
around his neck,
it's just
like a chain?
No. I wrap it around my throat like a choker. Yeah, it's like
that's pretty epic. I was about to imagine you, or it's like over your shoulder, like you're fucking Nathan Drake or something.
Like a lasso.
Yeah. In case you ever need to like cross some small gaps, you can whip it up and have it hook around a tree.
Or if I'm out with the homies and like one of their phones needs to charge, which you shouldn't be doing right now because of the coronavirus, but
you can here, only if you live in fucking silly countries.
Yeah, you can't do it here. You can do it here. But you'll get. That was an interesting thing. There's this discussion that like I think Eddie Burback and John Swan were at their throats recently, where like Eddie was suggesting that if you post a video of yourself partying on YouTube, you should get your channel canceled, terminated,
deleted.
I reckon that should be if you post cringe, you should get your channel banned.
Well, then you guys would be long gone at this point. I don't know if you want that.
Oh, got him.
I've been fucked yet again by the lyrical genius that is Lars from Norway from the Tijuana podcast. However will I recover? You wound me, sir.
Hey, fucker, welcome to the Tijuana podcast.
Okay, sorry, Lars.
Anyway, sorry about this. Is really entertaining to watch.
Yeah.
All right. So Eddie Burback said people who go to parties should be executed.
Yeah, John Swan was like, "No, you're an idiot. Anyone who posts this take should get their channel terminated." And I was like, "Well, maybe they should get a strike because that is technically a community guidelines violation." He was like, "Yeah, I agree." It was actually a really nice resolution.
I can see that because it's sort of like when you post footage of like pranks or whatever in the monetization thing anyway. It's like one of the things, like if you post pranks that can't be distinguished from like reality or whatever, or if you're kind of like encouraging dangerous behavior, like, oh, hey kids, try free climbing off the edge of a building like in Assassin's Creed, like if you do that shit, I'm pretty sure they'd nuke your channel as well. So I guess you could say there's parallels there.
Didn't YouTube like release a new policy thing that was like your behavior outside of the platform you can get in trouble for it? Right? Didn't
it's like
they
fucking
say that?
High school.
Yeah,
yeah.
It pretty much is. It breeds the same kind of brains.
I kind of agree with that.
Can I just quick aside? In high school, I remember we had two assemblies a week. We had one on Monday morning and one on Friday afternoon. The Friday afternoon one was like awards and shit, but the Monday morning one was like meant to be the principal hyping us up for the week. He was our hype man, but it was mostly more just to like I guess
the principal was just like yeah.
yeah. He just got on stage with like a little fucking keyboard and but he inevitably what it was him like telling us off for shit that happened over the weekend. Because again, he wanted the Friday one to be like the like an uplifting, like awarding and celebrating the accomplishments of the week. But the Monday one was like, we'd go into it like, oh, what happened this weekend? Like it was like a gossip session. He'd be, and he'd be saying things with such like a stone faced, like he was a real, like a straight kind of dude, a very straight man, unlike me.
He was heterosexual,
but he'd be saying things that were fucking hilarious. He'd be like, boys, this weekend there was an incident on the bus on Friday afternoon when the boys were coming home from school. One boy stood up and another boy took his pants and completely pulled them to the ground, exposing him to the rest of the bus. That is incredibly unacceptable behavior, and we're just all fucking dying in the bleachers, like trying not to laugh. And he would just have like, oh God, that was so funny.
And that boy was you.
That boy was me, I wish. Anyway, sorry,
that boy
go on.
Grew up to be Obama.
Obama's actually from New Zealand. What a twist.
Kudos, you keep apologizing for derailing this. And like, I just want to remind you, you're on Derail the Podcast, basically. Like, you understand that that's the point of the show, right?
Do you want to derail podcast?
I just feel bad because you've tried telling us your purchases about 4 times now, and I keep interrupting.
Oh, I was done with the purchases.
I have a 25-foot.
I have purchases USB. I would like to discuss.
Okay.
I also
but before we do that, can I tell a story about my high school experiences?
Yeah. Yes. You got pants, and they expose you to the bus. That's what happened.
Okay, Lars, tell us your coming of age story.
Tell us the story, Lars.
Oh no, I don't have a story. Do you have purchases you want to discuss?
Well, what's your story? I want to know your story.
Oh, I was making fun of Kudos by like randomly interjecting an embarrassing story about myself during a normal segment.
That's great.
Oh, that's real funny, Lars.
Thank you.
Another classic bit from the Tijuana podcast. This time, shout out to
There
Lars.
goes Doplex's impression again.
Hey, welcome to the Tijuana podcast. Today we're going to be discussing what kind of rider gloves you should wear in a fight. I personally like the matte black, just because if the cops come, you could hide them in your backpack.
Here's an awkward transition between some stuff that got edited out.
Homestar Runner, I think, is maybe one of my biggest inspirations when it comes to creating content and just like humor in general. And I was obsessed with that growing up. I still watch them to this day, and they still hold up. There's just something about the writing. It's so like absurdist, but still, like for an internet cartoon of the time, when you're competing with fucking, kids on Newgrounds making 9/11 video games, which I think we talked about in one of the other podcasts.
George Bush aerobics.
The day that 9/11 happened, they were making games about it.
Yeah, George Bush aerobics.
Which can't be a Kudos episode without talking about 9/11. Yeah,
it's my favorite. It's my birthday, actually. So, I feel obligated to bring it up. But again, I'm a big fan of like the edgy Newgrounds cartoons as well. Obviously, I was a big fan of those too. But in a world where that was like the kind of norm, for them to do a cartoon, a flash cartoon that was very like it wasn't that, like it was very PG, I suppose, but it was still kind of, it pushed the boundaries a bit. It didn't, as a kid watching it, I didn't feel like I was watching a kid's cartoon, It felt like when you watch like The Simpsons as a child or something, you're like, this is funny to me because it's flashy colors. But then as an adult, you can still watch it and be like, oh, there's this other level of depth that I didn't quite appreciate as a kid. But just like there's so much humor and just like the dialogue and just like weird English, like they just fuck with the English language in creative ways that makes it funny. And I think I try to derive a lot of that when I do my writing as well.
What's interesting about Newgrounds, by the way, speaking of which, is I've noticed that Rice Pirate basically everywhere else represents himself with an avatar or profile picture that has a hat. But on Newgrounds, he just goes full bald. I wonder why that is. He just goes full cue ball.
Because you're bearing your soul.
Yeah, okay.
They say that a bald head is a window into the, I don't know.
Yeah, so he says he's revealing himself.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's where he feels most comfortable.
On Newgrounds?
It's like you're not going to be naked on the street. I hope not. But around your house, that's pretty.
Yeah. On Newgrounds, he's wearing a trench coat. Easy rip,
I really hope I never get doxxed because I walk around in front of my windows naked a lot. Like after I have a shower. It's like,
I know. I have photos.
I have several stories up.
I have petabytes of Kudos nudes.
Nice callback.
Do you reckon, okay, here's another theory. Do you reckon it's because pedophiles don't know how to compress video, so they're like sending, like when you just get raw video footage and it's like 50 gigabytes for like 2 minutes of footage. It's just nothing but that because no one's figured out.
Such fucking boomers.
Yeah. None of them have figured out how to use Premiere to like re-export it. yeah. It's all just uncompressed.
What's a WinRAR?
Like we're laughing, but that's probably like partially true.
Yeah, that's probably
some of it. Some fucking pedos made like the beastiest like gaming rig PC just so it can run uncompressed video like without buffering.
Yeah. No, I imagine most pedophiles probably have like some old fucking Dell Office computer from like 2007. This is my comment machine.
Stop.
Sorry.
Anyway, shout out to Jared Fogle. Actually, who was I talking about that? How has Jared Fogle not gotten his fucking like head minced in yet? Because
he's probably living it up, dude.
Nah, in jail. No, in prison they don't take kindly to that. Like in prison, it's like
but if you're a celebrity,
like the bottom of the social tier, like you're bottom of the barrel.
I don't think they give a shit that he's a celebrity in prison.
Well, no, I'm not even saying the other inmates. I'm saying like if you're somebody of like a certain status, right, and you go to prison, and especially if it's for crimes like that, you're probably in like not like general population. You're probably like in like a comfy little cell by yourself.
Sure, like they purposefully segregate him so that he doesn't get fucking shanked or whatever. Yeah, probably.
He's probably got a TV playing his commercials on rerun. It's like, man, I was so fat.
Do you reckon he's put all the weight back on?
Probably.
But that's like the ultimate fuck you.
Yeah, he's doubled it.
The prison guards are like purposefully like giving, making his food extra fatty so that he like puts the weight back on.
Yeah, the slow game.
Can I have my old pants back?
Do you think for Subway that Jared Fogle is kind of like Keemstar's Alex say the word moment? Like, do you think that that's like the equivalent there?
Oh.
It definitely, because he was so tied into their branding. It'd be like if Ronald McDonald came out as a pedophile or something.
Yeah.
Like it's
right.
Came out like it's a fucking orientation.
Separate the art from the artist.
Separate the art from the sandwich artist.
Ronald he's always hanging out with kids. He's always got that creepy smile.
That's true.
But then, that's the thing though. It's always the people you least suspect.
Yeah.
Those are the real monsters. But yeah, he that way there's a Commander Teach in chat said Jared Fogle's gained 20 to 30 pounds in prison.
Nice.
He hasn't been able to go to Subway anymore. Oh, that's so funny.
He's eating fucking mashed peas and I don't know, piss.
Yeah. But like I definitely feel like Subway sort of stumbled and fell off big time not long after because I don't know, I used to go to Subway a lot when I was, in university and high school and stuff, but every time I go now it's like it just feels weird. Maybe just other restaurants just evolved and they didn't. But I definitely feel like he kind of brought them down a bit with him.
When was the last time you guys actually had Subway?
Last week.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
What about you, Kudos?
It's probably been like 6 or 7 months. It's been a long time. And it was like when I got it, it was fine. It was about what I expected. It wasn't awful. It was like, yeah, this is okay. But there was a while there where I was getting it like multiple times a week, especially when I was like starting my first proper job out of uni.
Yeah.
Where it was like really close to a Subway. So I was like, fuck, need to get something for lunch.
I think the last time I had Subway was probably like 3 years ago.
I'm going to go ahead and say that the Subway hate is something that I don't understand at all. And the reason why is because it's meat, cheese, and vegetables in their most basic form. So anytime you get a bad Subway sandwich, it is entirely your fault. Like,
no.
Yes.
I don't agree.
No,
I don't agree.
I think
you guys are wrong.
Nah.
I don't agree.
I don't care. You're wrong.
I don't agree, and I'll tell you why. The bread, okay. I remember specifically, I don't know if it's just because like my stupid little childhood taste buds completely changed, but I remember Subway being really good when I was a kid, but as I got older, I realized how much it just tastes like wet cardboard.
It really doesn't.
Yeah, no, exactly the same. I don't know. I think they started cheapening out at a certain point. I think they started.
What do you guys like? Okay, so first of all, you guys haven't had it in a long time. So, I mean, I actually have some reference here. It's just bread.
It's not just ingredients.
There's a lot that goes in.
Just like a lot of shit, like because all the veggies come like pre-made in bags and shit. And I don't know if that's like if they're sourcing
pre-made vegetables. Yeah, that's. What do you think they're going to grow them out back? Like, yeah, of course they get them shipped in.
Yeah, but like they're like pre-shredded and everything, and like that. I think some of them are anyway. Actually, no, I could be wrong with that. Either way, I just feel like I definitely have memories, and multiple people I've talked to, including both Doplex and Rice Pirate in chat, have clarified that yes, it definitely felt like there was a point where their recipe shifted or something changed. I don't know what it was specifically, but
well, do you guys want to know what it is? Doesn't
feel as what is it, Lars? What is it? Tell me.
So I got to pull this up specifically. So Doplex, can you play a transition song?
Yeah, one sec. This is the transition song.
Okay. So here's the thing. Subway bread used to have...
Oh, he's going to say it. Okay.
Are you going to say it?
Yeah.
Lars?
Yes, I'm here. Just...
Okay. Go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So Subway bread...
Oh, here it comes.
Fuck you, Lars.
Continue.
All right, here's what I'm going to do.
Bread.
Okay, server muted.
No, he fucking muted me. Oh, he muted both of us.
So Subway bread used to have something, I'm going to butcher this, called azodicarbonamide. The thing about this ingredient is it happens to be used in yoga mats. But the thing is that's things being in other things is very normal.
Yes.
Like there are things in foods that are also in like a table. That's not that weird.
Right. Like Taco Bell beef being made out of newspaper.
Well, it's
or a table being made out of Taco Bell beef.
Imagine you're like eating dinner and the table's falling apart.
It's like, Willy Wonka the Chocolate Factory, how he builds that king, the cast ladder chocolate. Yeah. And he's like, you better start eating it. And the guy's like, no, I'm going to live in it. And it starts melting. You do that out of Taco Bell beef.
Sorry, Lawrence, continue.
Let's take the extra down about a couple notches here. We're not actually going to get through anything. Okay.
All right.
Oh my God, so it's too funny.
I want to hear about the table sandwiches.
Okay, so I mean, like, yeah, I believe the ingredient made it so that the bread was a little bit more spongy, and like that's a desirable quality in bread, and just because it happens to be used in non-food things doesn't mean that it's unhealthy. It just means that some things can make things spongy in different ways. Like you'd want a yoga mat to be spongy as well, right?
Yeah.
Right.
But then this chick called the Food Babe campaigned to have them take it out, and they had to take it out because on the surface level, the dumbass population is thinking, well, that's bad. But if you really think about it, there's nothing inherently wrong with that. And so that's why Subway bread is indeed worse than it used to be.
That makes sense.
They did something similar to that. There was like another similar like social media campaign to get rid of like all the people at Subway who are pedophiles after someone campaigned to have Jared Fogle removed.
There's also a campaign to have a unit of measurement named after him, and that's how we got petabytes.
No, but it's just like it's kind of just how people are, where they don't really think this stuff through. It's like how people just heard that MSG is bad for you when it's not.
Right.
It's fine.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I think it's just like, because on a surface level, you don't read into it like, oh, it's just this ingredient that's also in this other thing. It's the smooth brains on Twitter are just like, there's yoga mat in my Subway sandwich.
Yeah.
Which no, there's not. But you can see why they would think that.
Right.
Do you remember? I always remember seeing these advertisements, these like health posters in school as a kid. They were like telling you all the chemicals that are in cigarettes, and it was like, when you smoke a cigarette, you're breathing in the same chemicals as like ant poison and jet fuel.
I remember
like
that.
all this other shit.
I think we had like a diagram, and I remember thinking, because it said that there was like frogs like actual frogs inside of cigarettes. And I'm thinking so what the people smoke frogs like it's nothing?
I always looked at it like that as well. I was like, why are they mixing ant poison into cigarettes? That doesn't seem that smart.
Right.
Yeah.
There's a rocket ship in here.
It's kind of like I have another thing for you, unfortunately, to have to render here, but I'm going to put it in the chat. These are the ingredients in a peach.
Jesus.
Because there's that whole thing about like, oh, don't eat anything you can't pronounce. But the truth is that everything has that. Everything contains like weird shit that you can't pronounce, even just like a fruit.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
There's aqua in here.
You see that a lot with like the anti-vax movement where they're like, oh, you're injecting fucking
frogs,
phenylalanine and all this other bullshit into you. And it's like, okay, well, that's also in apples.
So, there's bro science for weightlifting and stuff. What's the equivalent for food?
Wait, there's what?
So bro science is like that junk, like lifting stuff that people perpetuate.
Sure.
Like, if you do this and you take this stack, then you're going to get ripped, bro.
If you take a sex pill before you hit the gym.
Yeah. So what's the equivalent for food? I guess just like food nonsense or something.
Yeah. I mean.
Food silliness.
Bro, food, cis science.
Food bro.
Food bro. Bro.
What's up, YouTube? It's the Food Bro back at it again with another all-natural peach ingredients list.
Top 10 ingredients found in your peach.
Number 10, aqua.
Yeah.
Number 2, butanoate.
And the number 1 ingredient in an all-natural peach is 3-methyl-butyl acetate.
Subscribe if you like octadecaturic acid. God, how do you pronounce it? Octadecatrian.
You can't pronounce it, therefore you shouldn't be eating it. It shouldn't be part of your diet.
I think I just proved her point.
Hey, so I was talking to my friend Ryan the other day. We're trying to figure out what the worst Subway sub you could make is. The only rules is it has to be something that the sandwich artist would be willing to do. So you can't probably say like, I'll stand on it.
Step on my sandwich.
But you could probably be like, put everything in, like all the veggies and everything, and then ask them to put it in the heating machine after they put the veggies on it. So they get all like soggy and warm. But like, what do you think? What do you think's the worst sandwich you can make there?
I would think going up to the register and maybe just saying, can I have a veggie sandwich? And then they cut the bread. They tell them not to put any veggies in it, but just fill it with mayo until they refuse to continue.
Yeah. Well, my friend said, Ryan said when he went there the other day, there was a woman in front of him who got, how's this for chaotic energy? She got a ham sandwich with extra salt and nothing else. So it's just ham, bread, and a lot of salt.
I bet she's great in bed.
I feel like there's a YouTube video in this. Like, trying out different gross Subway recipes.
Oh, I'm sure. I recently saw a video. I'm surprised we're still on Subway, but fuck it. I recently saw a video of this like Subway worker who was like on heroin or something. And she was like passing out in the sandwich while she was making it. And there was like Christmas music playing. So it was like as the crescendo happened, she like fell asleep in the bread. It was the funniest. If anybody can find that video, please do.
That's fucking funny.
It's so good.
Here's a great, hey, any Subway workers listening to this, here's a great Twitter account that you can have for free, all right? Because I don't work at Subway, but if I did, I'd make this. The premise would just be telling people about the worst sandwich you had to make that day. Or you probably couldn't take photos because you probably get fired. But just like, I'd love to follow a thing which is just like the awful orders that people get at Subway. Because I've been, like my friend Ryan seen that woman with her ham and salt sandwich. I've seen some people order some pretty gnarly shit, and I'd love to just have like a feed of like awful things that people asked for. Because I imagine people, like you'd see some shit there, man. It'd be great.
I have an idea for like a food prank, which I'm never going to be able to do because I don't work at Carl's Jr. Do you guys have Carl's Jr. in Australia?
Yeah, it's because it's Carl's Jr. and was it Hardee's or something?
It's Hardee's. It's Hardee's in the East.
Do they call it Hardee's or Carl's Jr. there?
Yeah, we got Carl's Jr. It's pretty good. I like Carl's Jr.
So
Carl's.
I have this idea for like this hidden camera prank to do at Carl's Jr.
Okay.
Oh, is that the one you were saying where like you put it in like the girls' bathroom, like in the toilets facing up?
Oh no, this is a new one. I've
Oh, sure.
trouble, but we. But let's get into the actual one. Okay, so that was a joke, by the way.
No, it wasn't. Go on.
Doplex, cut that out. cut his clarification out.
Lars is editing this. I'll cut it out of the video render.
Lars, cut that bit out.
Yeah, cut my own.
Yeah,
okay.
Lars, cut that out.
Okay, so I have this idea because they have something there, because I can't do this because I'm not an employee, but I feel like if I was an employee there and I had like a cool manager who would go along with it, they have this thing called hand scooped milkshakes. And
right.
I think what that means, by the way, is that it's not poured automatically out of a vessel. Like they scoop it out with like a spoon.
which makes it sound so much fancier when it's really not.
Yeah.
Scooped.
I think it'd be really funny to do a prank where it's like if a customer came up and like it was slow, like, and if they ordered a hand scoop shake, I'd be at the register. I'd be like, oh, God damn it. Okay. All right. I'm going to go do this. And then like kind of walk to the back and then being like, because I'm like having to scoop it out with my hands and then like have the manager come over to yell at me because like, you got to do this. This is part of your job. And me like, no, I don't want to do this anymore. And then like I think that would be a really good prank.
Like it's this taxing thing to scoop with your hands.
No, like using my actual hand.
Oh.
Like without a spoon. And just like screaming in pain because it's so cold.
But I feel like to make it funnier, you'd want to like set it up like you're walking out of the bathroom, you have shit all over your hands. Like, you'd have to really play the long game.
Oh, I saw that once. Well, not that specifically, but I was at one time I went to use the bathroom at a McDonald's and a McDonald's employee came out of like the toilet stool and just left without washing his hands. And I was like, great.
And he had shit on his hand?
I'm not eating here. Fuck you. Well, he probably did in particle form.
It's disgusting.
It was foul. I didn't eat there after.
To be completely fair, before the coronavirus, I would have said that like that's not going to make that much of a difference in terms of their like grossness, because people's hands are automatically gross just as it is. But now that COVID is here, it takes on new meaning at this point.
Right.
I mean, so did fucking feces hands. I don't know. That's pretty bad too.
What's that joke? Like coughing is the new N-word. Isn't that a thing?
Jeez.
That's like the thing, right? It's like it's such a shocking thing to cough in front of somebody now.
Yeah. It is.
I hate when you have, you just get like a tingle in the back of your throat or something, and you're like on a tram or a bus or something, like in a very condensed place, and you're like, oh God, I have to cough.
That's
Everyone's
the
gonna
worst.
think I'm dying. And you just kind of like try and hold it in.
Yeah.
I hate that. And it only seems to happen when you're like with a shitload of people around you as well. It never happens like in the quiet of your room.
By the way, I don't know if you guys saw my ping earlier about pet peeves.
Oh, no, I didn't.
I did.
Oh, okay. So I think we should do a pet peeves segment because it's been a while.
Okay.
Welcome to the T1 podcast, Pet Peeves.
Stop calling it the T1 podcast. That's not the name.
Hey, fucker. Welcome to the Tijuana podcast. This is our pet peeves. Hey, Lars and Kudos. That's their pet peeves.
Thank you for tuning into the Create Unknown's Pet Peeve segment.
Oh, speaking of the Create Unknown. Okay. So you know how Matt Tabor whistles when he pees?
Right, and comes.
And
Yeah, so
he pisses when
that's
he
the
wheezes.
thing. Imagine the sound that it would make when he has an orgasm. Like just whistling.
They probably sound like
It's just
this.
like it's. Yeah, that came through great, Doplex. It's
Thanks, bud.
and it'd sound like, when like a gym teacher fucking nails their whistle, it'd be like that.
Yeah. Like little spurts come out like one at a time, like whistle, whistle, whistle. Okay.
Pet peeves.
Do you guys have any ready to go? Do you need
No.
time?
Here's a new one. Here's a new one that I've been sitting on lately. I've been thinking about, and it's relevant to my recent growth in subscribers. Be sure to subscribe to youtube.com/DopexTV. But it's it's a pet peeve in that it doesn't bother me. Like, it doesn't offend me. It's just like, why did you, which I guess is the definition of a pet peeve. It doesn't infuriate me or anything. My one lately is people on YouTube telling me, or anyone for that matter, who they look like. I mean, look, it's free engagement on the video, so that's cool, I suppose. But it's like, after being told who you look like for the 50th time, because there's only like 3 people who you look like.
Rice Pirate says try being bald.
Well, that's my second pet peeve. is bald people.
No, I think he's saying like because I know Lord Vega gets that a lot. Just because he's bald, it was like, oh, you look like Keegan Michael Key. I told him that. That was mine. Yeah.
I do like on Only Plays how they say everyone who's bald with a beard looks like Tomar. I get a kick out of that. That's funny. But like on like the comments, because there's I get told the same ones over and over. And again, it's never mean. I'm never like offended, but I'm just like, okay, thank you. I guess thank you for that information that I will now never use.
Right.
I don't know. And the thing that really annoys me is when people talk in third person as though I'm not the one reading it. Like they'll comment like, well, this guy looks like Harry Potter. And I'm like, who the fuck are you talking to?
Yeah, I was going to say tough titties on this otherwise, but now that actually kind of pushed me over to agreeing with you. Because, I mean, there's an implication in that.
Yeah.
Which is that I'm just peeking in on this guy's channel. I'm not subscribed. I don't give a shit about him. He's really unimportant. He's just a prop for my joke. You know?
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Like you can just imagine him like turning, like he's saying it as though he's turning to all his mates at a party, like, check out this guy. He looks weird. Or, but it's like, dude, I'm the one, we're in an elevator together. This is it.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah,
I'm the one reading it. Like your comment is buried. There's 1,000 comments on this video, my man. Yeah. I'm the one who reads it. Fuckwit. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm totally on board with it now.
Yeah.
So that's the weird. Again, it's like it doesn't bother me. I just see it. I'm like, why would you spend your time typing that out?
Right.
So I'm going to give you an analogy, by the way, though, which is that the amount of people who have asked me, like, wait, how is this the first podcast, has gotten to the point where I just ignore it at this point. And there will come a point where you just ignore the, oh, you look like Harry Potter comments. Like, there will be a day.
Oh, I already am. Like, for a while, I was kind of like, oh, that's, whatever. But I'd have to follow on from your point of like, oh, is this the first podcast? I hate as well when you have like a rhetorical question as like the title or something or other, and someone or just something in the title in general, and someone tries to like make a joke out of that, like you'd be like, I can't exactly think of an example, but I've definitely had ones before where I've like asked a rhetorical question and some guy will be like, oh, and he's trying to answer it. And it's like, okay.
Before watching the video, where it's just like they literally just answer the title.
Yeah. They're like, yeah, I got it. I thought of a zinger for this one.
Yeah.
Drop my comment on this one.
Like rub their hands for clicking on the video.
Oh, that reminds me of Soylent. Have you guys heard of this?
Soylent?
Yeah.
Is that like the Slim Fast for soy boys?
That's a good one. No, but okay. So Soylent is like this meal replacement thing, like Huel, Soylent, blah, 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 all those other ones where it's like you drink the shake and then it's like nutritionally complete.
Right.
So there's this movie called Soylent Green where everyone drinks Soylent Green. And the plot twist is that Soylent Green is made out of dead people.
Oh.
Mm.
And so
also like Taco Bell meat.
Every post on social media that Soylent has ever made gets like 86 comments that are like, is your product made out of people? And it's just, that must get so tiring as their social media manager. Like every day, hundreds of people making the same clever joke.
There must be so many places like that where you just know. I mean, Internet Surrender's video on Cracker Barrel and the Brad's wife thing, and they probably still get that. Like you're trying to just advertise some bullshit sandwich, and there's all these like funny cunts underneath being like, oh, check me out, guys. I don't know.
Oh yeah, people are saying that in the chat that it was Soylent's fault, by the way, for naming it. The company obviously did that on purpose. I'm talking about the social media manager guy that I feel bad for. This is not his fault.
This is the price they pay. This is the deal with the devil, you know?
Yep.
I feel the same thing with, like going with the replies thing. People who put random memes in the replies to like big YouTubers' tweets. That always, I don't know why that just kind of, it's like this weird microcosm of like bottom feeding gremlin people who are like here's a funny tweet by fucking Moist Critical, whatever. Time to put some unrelated bullshit underneath so I can get like 50 likes.
Yeah.
And then there's always some even fucking more goblin-y person who replies with like an image that's like, I'm stealing your meme. Haha, thank you for the meme.
And then there's like a reply chain going like, I'm also stealing it. It's just like the stupidest,
it's the weirdest,
corniest fucking JPEGs.
So you could also just try and actually be funny. That would help.
Yeah. Well, when you're void of humor, JPEGs go a long way.
Very true.
Speaking of social media, my pet peeve is social media managers, specifically accounts like Fall Guys. Have you seen the shit? They literally name everything like to sound kind of like Big Chungus.
I kind of like that.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
It was funny for like the first like maybe like the first week, you know, and then now it's just like introducing the new Big Yeetus. This guy's a chunker and he's gonna rar XD. It's just
he's
like
a heckin' pupperino.
Heckin' pupperino chonker. It's just like a bunch of like nonsensical fucking 2012 internet speak now.
It's like awful Reddit memes from 2 years ago.
I don't know, man. Like I actually kind of sympathize with that because like I know who their core audience is, like who they're tweeting to, and it's not me.
I guess.
Yeah, that's true.
It's not. They're not tweeting to me. So getting mad at it is kind of like
I have two like to contradict literally what I just said about people trying to be funny in their replies. There was a comedian I listened to years ago. I can't remember who it was. So sorry, but he had a bit about like when you go to like the supermarket and the cashier like tries to joke with you, and it's always like some lame, super fucking G-rated shit because they can't say anything bad, and you kind of do like a like, you know, you laugh along, but you kind of, you know. But he had a good point where it's like there's two ways to look at it. You can either be like, oh god damn it, this is so cringy. This woman's horrible man's terribly unfunny, trying to like, you know, like just do your job. I'm only here to buy shit.
Right.
But the flip side is it's like that person is trying to make you laugh. They're trying. They may not succeed, but they're trying to do something good and, you know, like improve your day.
Yeah.
So I guess you can kind of look at it like they're trying. And there is something to be said about that. Like they're not just being a dry, boring person. So
right,
I agree to the extent that the person is a generally like nice person. Like, if they're a douche at the same time, then no, fuck it, all bets are off.
Yeah. Well, I mean, hold on. I mean, I'm not saying that the Fall Guys social media manager is an asshole.
No, I think we're talking about something else. Honestly, I think. We're kind of like,
I think,
like if a comedian
sucks, my brain is mush.
If a comedian sucks but they're harmless, then I don't care. If a comedian sucks but they're also an asshole, then yeah, fuck them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like if they get political, if they're like, oh, I'm a conservative comedian, libtards, then I'm gonna want to make fun of them. But if they're just like kind of not good at humor, I don't want to step on their hustle too much. If at all.
I don't even mean comedians specifically. I just mean like, say, like people on the street, you know, like I'm sure we've all had those experiences where like someone's trying to be funny or they're trying to crack a joke at the store or something and you're kind of like, oh, that was a bit, you know, that wasn't funny, but I'm going to smile and laugh anyway. But it's like that person was just trying to, you know, maybe lighten up your day a bit. So maybe I should cut them some more slack instead of running home to hop on Twitter and be like, this fucking idiot at the supermarket,
just old man at the grocery store.
This cringe lord at the supermarket.
This bitch said it was raining cats and dogs.
Has she even
what a
seen
fucking
outside? Here's her ducks.
Now I'm thinking on the flip side of that, though, that actually might be kind of funny to like really lay into some random person you saw on the street.
That's my favorite thing about humor is it's like is it a sine wave where it goes up and down? Like there's so many layers to humor where you can like just being a dick someone online is bad, but then if you're such an asshole, then it kind of comes up to being funny again.
Yeah.
It reminds me, it reminds me of this joke where it's like, you know how it's like really not cool to fat shame people anymore?
Don't Don't you're trying to bait me into something, Lars?
I saw this tweet at one point from Ela Klein, of all people. You know who that is?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
And she was just like being vicious toward Chad's weight, anything for views. And I thought that was really funny. Like, in a world where like fat jokes are not cool, there was something humorous about her really going over the top, being a dick about it. That was funny to me.
Like horrible people as well. It's like she seems very like quiet and pleasant. Just starts ripping it.
Yeah, part of it was her personality too. Like, she's kind of mild mannered, so just being a complete asshole was just really funny.
It's funny. There was one tweet from Keemstar of all people, which like wasn't out of character of him by any means. But it was, I think Chad posted it was this really cringy TikTok of this guy role playing like a streamer who's just starting out. I don't know if you guys saw this. It made my blood boil, but it was this dude who was like acting like, well, I've got one, he's like reacting to chat essentially.
Right.
And there's like some dude in chat and he's like, hey man, love the stream. Keep up the good work. And the guy's like, thanks, man. I'm just out here trying my hardest. Who knows where it'll happen? And then it's like cuts to 2 weeks later. And it's like that same guy comes back and it's like, well, dude, you've got 15 likes now. 15 viewers now. And he's like, thanks, man. We're slowly starting to get somewhere, but I'll always remember that you're my first viewer. Or something. It's some really cringy shit. Like, you can tell this dude's trying to like wholesome Chungus his way into like getting people to watch the streams or something. And Chad posted that TikTok being like, fuck this dude. And then Keemstar came in and he was like, this guy's a fucking piece of shit. He should have his account banned. It was just so over the top. And because it was Keemstar, I couldn't tell if he was telling like he was being sincere or not.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so funny. Oh, there's the tweet. Careful on your high horse there, Chad. I don't know if a horse can hold your weight. Damn.
It's just such like an over-the-top thing for her to say. And it's like so socially unacceptable that like it was funny to me. I don't know.
Yeah, that's great. I love it. I love when people just go mask off every now and then.
Mask off.
I
think we should bring bullying back. Can I just say that?
Bullying 2, the sequel?
Yeah,
I feel like there could be some improvements.
Yeah, I think we're definitely due for a reboot of bullying.
Yeah, the first one had a bit of a rocky reviews. It was a bit up and down.
Right.
But I reckon we can really hone it. When you think about it, cancelling is like bullying 2.
Yeah.
Because it's like socially acceptable bullying. Like bullying 1 was like universally considered to be bad and you shouldn't do it.
Right.
But now
and then they did the reboot. They got Channing Tatum to play bully.
What if you bully some people? Yeah.
I think we're going to look back on canceling and probably regret. They kind of equate it probably to like righteous bullying in a way. Like sometimes
that's the thing. Yeah.
Sometimes it's legitimate. Sometimes someone needs to be canceled, but like, it's just the word cancel.
Sometimes. I think everybody is redeemable. I mean, well, okay, let me rephrase that. I think most people are redeemable, especially if it's something as stupid as like making an unsavory joke. I think that is 1,000% redeemable. Nobody should get canceled for that. If you're physically doing something, or if you're doing something that's either A, illegal, B, completely unethical, then yeah, of course. But people get like literally thrown through the ringer for making an edgy joke in 2016.
It just seems weird that like there's actual fucking like pedophiles and sex pests and there's like genuinely awful people online, on Twitter right now. And those people don't get as much attention as like some other person who makes an edgy joke or laughs at something stupid or just did something dumb on a stream.
Yeah.
Or
like
here's the problem though.
Could we not?
Here's the problem.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm right about that though. Because the thing is, so many people seem to disagree, like that.
Yeah, but that's fake woke. They don't even feel like that. They don't even feel that way, genuinely.
Maybe it's not though. Maybe they do, and maybe I'm the asshole. Like I don't know. Like I'm thinking like my guess is that they're taking it too far. But if so many other people disagree with me, I don't know. Like, I'm not going to claim to have the answers for the world about that kind of stuff. Like, I guess we'll see.
Nah, I mean, the way I see it, it just feels like fake woke. It just feels like people, I mean, there are people who definitely want, like, good, and there are people who want growth, and there are people who want positivity and whatnot. But there are also people out there that are literally just moral grandstanding. It's just like literally like, I'm better because I can point this out. I would never do something like this because I'm pointing this out. And that it's really just a matter of like, it's moral grandstanding. That's all it is. I honestly think a lot of it is just fake woke.
Well, I think we also have to consider an exceptional amount of it. I could be wrong. I obviously don't know the statistics on this, but as with a lot of stupid phenomena online, I think a lot of it is kids. A lot of it is these like 13, 14-year-old K-pop girls who like have their little circles, and they're just like a wave, you know, they're like an amorphous mass of just like prepubescent energy where just like you're angry and fucking your emotions are all over the place, and then someone says, hey, you know, you might be ostracized at school, or you've got this or that, but here's this person that we can all bully together, you know, like and feel good about ourselves. So yeah, it's, I don't know. I think a lot of these people will probably grow out of it eventually. But
I'm also not sure about the idea of it just being fake woke. I mean, I know that woke culture brings out a sigh in me, but there is something to the basic concept of waking up to certain social issues that we do face, where there's got to be a decent amount of people who actually do feel like these things are a problem. Racism and misogyny and sexism and stuff, those are big issues. And I don't want to say like everyone's just doing it just to like be on a high horse. I think that there is a lot of stuff to call out. And I know people get tired of us talking about it, but these are conversations we do need to be having.
Because you can, that's the other thing, is it's like it does create a conversation around the topic, which is important as well. So yeah, that's the thing. It's like everything in life, it's a gray area. Like there are arguably good things that can come from canceling. I think the problem is, when people are getting cancelled over fucking minor things, or just like not given the chance to grow or show growth, you know, like I've always been a firm believer that, say, like prison should be for rehabilitation, not for incarceration. Yeah. And I feel like a lot of people who probably are the woke type would agree with me on that it shouldn't be, you know, lock them up and throw away the key. It should be like, here's how we can improve you so that when you get out, you don't commit the same mistakes again.
Right.
But then people don't apply that same logic to, you know, like, oh, I said this thing several years ago, and people change. Like I said stuff several years ago that I'm like, that was stupid. I shouldn't have said that. I regret that. You grow, you learn, things change in your life. But a lot of people don't care about that. They just say they can just point out the screenshot from 6 years ago and be like, well, there you go. He was a piece of shit 6 years ago. So clearly nothing's changed since then.
Yeah. We'll see that's my point, right? Like, you know, like Kudos said, like you could say a joke or you can make a joke and completely regret it, you know, like, but if somebody were to find that now, you know, the context doesn't matter. The fact that you're not like that anymore doesn't matter. It's just the fact that you did it. So like that to me is fake woke, because I feel like if you actually cared about those issues, you would care more about that person growing from making jokes like that might be seen as offensive. You would kind of like look at that before you actually look at, like, you know, you would look, okay, this person is doing this now. You know, this person isn't fucking going on Twitter and screaming racial slurs at everybody, all caps. No cap.
When I was doing the Yandere I did video, it's like I made a point to say his like 15-year-old posts aren't like, I kind of just wanted to like set it up to sort of, I brought up to sort of show how it sort of influenced some of his future decisions, but I don't feel like it's reasonable to take those posts out of context, like, you know, as they were, and necessarily lambast him for that. However, the fact that he seems to continue to share some of those beliefs and has like consistently shown that, you know, he hasn't grown in a lot of areas. I think that's more, say, like where you could reasonably critique someone, not necessarily cancel, but like he's shown time again that he doesn't learn from these negative things in his past,
right?
And so, well, that's, you know, that's the flip side of that, where it's like, well, here's someone who just doesn't learn and change, you know?
Yeah, it's at that point kind of make a better judge of character.
At the same time, there was a point in the Jake Paul content comp, which is obviously actually about Rice Pirate, where Ian
Rice gum.
Yeah.
Was that intentional?
Yeah. It was about rice gum. It was amazing. I'm still really impressed by that. that bait and switch, by the way. That was a really good one.
Yeah, it was.
Back in the day.
A good one. Maybe it got taken down for clickbait for like half an hour. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
When it first, yeah.
No, so he made a good point, though, in which he said, you still can be criticized for that stuff, even if it is in the past. Like, people have a right to say, like, this is what you're capable of. Like,
yeah,
I understand. I do agree that people can and should, and I encourage them to grow as people. But it's true that you're on the internet and that there are things that you probably shouldn't say. And if it was 5 years ago, then I'll keep that in mind. But I don't think it's unfair to criticize someone for it.
No, yeah,
criticism's
of
fair.
course. I just think it should be like considered in the wider context of them and who they are as a person now. You know.
Yeah.
Like absolutely. If you did something stupid several years ago, like it's still reasonable to bring it up if you believe it's still what they think today. But
I do think including a timestamp is important, and I think considering how long it's been since that timestamp is relevant. But the criticism itself is fair.
Well, let me ask you this: do you think that should be brought up in private, or if it should be brought up in a thread in public? Almost like a public shaming type deal, which is essentially the same at its core to canceling.
Well, I mean, my answer to that would really depend on the situation.
Like, let's say iDubbbz got called out for saying the N-word in 2016, and somebody, most people know about it, but let's say he gets like a slew of new fans, right? iDubbbz doesn't do it anymore. Because the landscape has changed.
Joji's a better example because that has actually happened with him.
Right? Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah. Well, we'll use Joji as an example. Well, actually, not really, because I feel like people tried to do that. They're like, "Oh, Pink Guy said the N-word," and then everybody was like, "Yeah, you don't know, you didn't know that he was Pink Guy." So I feel like that's a little different, just because he has like an audience who would actually defend him without him actually having to, acknowledge it himself. Yeah. But I guess iDubbbz is still like very in tune with like the internet. The YouTube space, right?
Yeah, sure. He hasn't transcended like Joji.
Exactly. So, like, do you think something like that? Actually, I don't even know if that's a good example. I don't know. I'm trying to find like the best way to explain my point here, but pretty much, I don't know. I think there's definitely influence, especially like a lot of creators who like wanted to be that edgy style of comedy. It's like one of those things that like you can't predict the landscape changing as far as comedy goes. Really, all you could do is grow and move on, and fucking just have that be it.
Live your best life.
Yeah, live your life, queen.
Hey, here's a question: if you woke up and one day and you had like 400 notifications on Twitter, and you go on YouTube and there's a content cop, Doplex, would you just kill yourself, like just without even watching it?
I'd probably just kill myself.
That honestly would probably be the scariest thing. Yeah, like. That, or if like I'm trying to think of someone, like if Donald Trump tweeted at you or something, was like, Doplex is a piece of shit, you'd just be like, well, time to delete every social media I've got.
I feel like in that situation you get a lot of like right-wing wanks that would be after you, but like that would otherwise be a major compliment for the most part.
Content cop Donald Trump.
Oh,
when's that one coming at? That's why he lost.
I had a kind of a very like small 0.01% version of that happened recently, which was interesting because like Doplex tweeted something out and I had like a partial disagreement with him and people got really upset about it. It was really interesting.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. It was weird because like I was just saying like, oh, in this part of what you said, I don't think you represented what someone said pretty well.
I know what you're talking about.
And then I said in a different tweet, now this part I think you were spot on about. And his legion of fans just erupted at me. And it was it was like funny because like every interaction that I've had with Doplex, either on this podcast or on Twitter, has been perfectly pleasant. Like we've debated a little bit on Twitter, but not like mean-spirited in any way.
Right.
But like some of his fans and his friends just like were really upset that I would go against the holy Doplex, which like, I don't know, it was weird.
That sounds like a sex move. The holy Doplex.
Holy Doplex.
What's that?
Yeah, I gave her the holy Bo Blacks last night.
People were like, I'm in before he deletes his tweet out of shame. And I don't think you have a single brain cell. And it was just like, okay, guy. Like, it's just Twitter.
Yeah.
Just disagreed.
Well, Doplex, you had something similar when Leafy fucking brought you up in a video. Did anything ever come from that in the end?
Yeah, I mean, I have people who are subscribed to my channel to dislike whenever I upload. But that's starting to phase out.
Oh, we have some of those on the podcast now.
Yeah. Yeah, that's starting to phase out, though. But it's literally only because Leafy made a video on me.
Yeah.
Well, it wasn't on you. It was you were in it.
I was the main focus.
Don't flatter yourself too much.
I think I was the main. He kept going back to me. I dream about it every night. I wake up in cold sweats, and all I hear in my ear is "Sup, fucker."
I forget you're really good at a Leafy voice. Unfortunately, the original video entirely about Doplex is now
entirely
lost to the wind. So
yeah. I'll go ahead and give my pet peeve.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I thought you already did.
No, I haven't yet.
Oh,
Lars, what's your pet peeve?
So I'm actually curious, by the way, if you guys even have this in Australia, because you guys are differently than us.
Differently?
Y'all are built different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So in America, there's this growing trend
called freedom.
And for reference, this is during the pandemic. If you're watching this in the future, there's a growing trend of people who are wearing their masks, but below the nose. Have you guys seen this?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah. No, I see a lot of. So for context, I think my state is the only one that's actually had a mask mandate. I think all the others got through their quarantines without needing one. And ours is still going, even though we haven't had a case in like a month. But they have loosened it now, where you only have to wear it inside. You can wear it, take it off outside. Mm-hmm. But like back when we still had a good like 4 or 5 months maybe of having to wear it, and you'd see some fucking shocking mask etiquette, like below the nose, or like over the eyes, or just like under the chin.
Some people wear them as chin straps for some reason. Like what do you think you're
balls.
Doing with this, bud? Like,
I don't know if that's just like they're just wearing it in case like the cops come past and they can pull it back up or something. I don't know.
By the way, just for that one dude in the audience, just in case you just actually don't know, if you don't wear it over your nose, it doesn't work. Because you breathe through your nose when you're breathing normally.
There was a good tweet an image I saw on Twitter of like, isn't it? It says like if you put a condom on your balls instead of. That was good. It's pretty much the same thing.
Yeah,
it's like I get where you're coming from. It's a nice idea, but it doesn't quite work that way.
Okay, what if? And hear me out. The balls got hard too.
Is that what happened with that time you went to the gym?
Yeah,
I've seen the people pulling it below their chin. I reckon it's just in case like a cop or someone comes past, they can pull it up, because it's like a $5,000 fine or something. It's quite a lot.
Jesus.
It reminds me of a dude back in the day. I can't remember where the fuck I saw this. Maybe it was online, or maybe someone in person told me. But they hated wearing their seatbelt. They like thought it was lame, I suppose, because in New Zealand you have to wear your seatbelt.
No, that's cringe
all the time.
Yeah, to be fair, by the way, like I wear my seatbelt, but it is kind of lame. Like wearing my seatbelt, like it is dorky.
How's that lame?
It's dorky.
Lame, man.
I wear my seatbelt, but it's
Do you value your life?
Safety's cool, kids. Like it's dorky. I do it, but it's dorky.
Well, I know someone who's been through a windshield and was in a coma for several months, so it's I can tell you it's not. The alternative is a bit dorkier.
Oh yeah, for sure. So I wear it.
Yeah, right. Rice Bar brings up what I was just going to say. People who pull their seatbelt down without locking it in, just so like when they ride past a cop, they'll be like, "Yeah, I'm good."
Really? Why?
But it's like that. What? Or you could just actually just put it on, then, couldn't you?
Yeah.
It's like some people are so desperate to rebel against everything.
I mean, I've had to do that with like broken seatbelts, where you just kind of have to hold it.
I'm sorry to hear that. I'm sorry to hear that your life is consistent of that.
I feel like I've also seen, I don't know if this is a thing, but I feel like I've seen one where like you can get a seatbelt that looks as though you're wearing, a t-shirt that looks as though
it's just a built-in seatbelt.
It's got like a seatbelt pattern on it. Like it's just got like the two black lines over it. So at a glance, you'd be like, oh, he's wearing a seatbelt.
Right. I feel like that would be cool. Like, like as a style, like just like if you're just wearing that, it'd be like a cool, funny conversation piece. But I feel like if you're that adamant about not wearing a seatbelt that you buy a t-shirt that's meant to look like that.
Yeah.
Like you go on Amazon.com and you search that up and buy it so you don't have to wear a seatbelt. Then maybe at that point you kind of deserve to go through the windshield.
Do you remember those? It's kind of interesting thinking about these videos now with like the
Wait, before we move on, Kudos, I do want to point out one last thing that is kind of tangential though to this pet peeve. And I'm going to post it in the chat. I've seen this around sometimes, and I'm thinking this can't work. Which is this: the little mouth shields that some people have.
Oh,
the fuck!
I haven't seen those. I've seen the ones that are like they wear it around like the forehead and it comes down.
Yeah, that's kind of a bad angle to show the problem with it. I'm going to show a profile, like a side image here, which shows that like there's no way that the virus isn't going to escape from that person's mouth and nose at that point.
They look like a cool like Darth Vader thing almost.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that doesn't. But I've definitely seen people walking around here with they're like welder's masks almost, like the ones that you wear on the forehead. And those, those don't do fucking anything apparently. Like I think if you wear it in combination with a mask,
it protects your eyes.
So obviously stops. Yeah, protects your eyes. So like when I got a test, and all the doctors or whoever was doing the test, they all had both the mask and the shield. But if you just have the shield, like your breath's still getting everywhere. Like it's not doing fucking anything. So I think they changed the mask laws here, so you can't, like those don't count as masks, which I thought was interesting.
Can't you catch COVID through farts now? Isn't that a thing?
I hope not. I've been huffing some fucking creamy ones.
Oh, I hear that's a myth.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, sweet.
You know what I miss is like the early days. I don't miss the early days of COVID,
huffing?
but I do miss like during the early days of COVID when people like
nostalgic.
There wasn't that whole like mandated standard mask thing, and people were doing all sorts of weird shit to cover up in public. Do you remember back then where they put like plastic bags over their heads and they come in with like full like painters masks and stuff? It was great.
Yeah.
Yeah, like there wasn't enough masks to go around, or like, the big retailers hadn't started selling like cloth ones.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't as easy to get one as it is now. So people were just making shit up. That was great.
Yeah, I remember, I don't know if you guys have ever been to one of these places, but they're called gas stations. But I remember I went to a gas station and the guy just told me to put my shirt like over my face. This is like literally in the early, at the start. And then like they weren't letting people in unless they like covered their mouths. So like people were just putting anything in front of their face.
Ross Part says, just hold your breath. You're just fucking running in.
Well, if they get David Blaine or something to do that, then yeah, sure, I guess.
Right. You're just shopping like a supermarket sweep.
I want to bring up something before. It was something I was thinking about recently, and especially with like all the new developments with the police in the United States. Do you remember those videos back in the day of the guys being like, they're like, I know my rights, guys, And they'd be like, the cops just be like, sir, can you please just show me your license? And they'd be like, I don't have to show you shit. And they're like, just like be aggressively like non-compliant for a traffic stop.
Yeah.
And it'd just be some sketchy ass white dude with like a monster cap. And the cop's like, can you just fucking, can we just get this over with?
The guys who are like, am I being detained?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, the am I being detained guys.
The freemen on the land, yeah.
Yeah, and then the cops would always be like, sir, can you please like sort of step out of the car, like when they're just completely not complying. And then eventually like they just keep not complying enough that the cops smash their window and like yank them out.
I think the whole topic of the freemen on the land and the sovereign citizens, by the way, is really fascinating. Have you guys ever heard of this?
No.
I think I looked into it a little bit after I fell down a rabbit hole of watching those videos. Which is they're pretty much like they're trying to like recuse themselves from society, really, aren't they? Or like,
well, really, just law in particular. Kudos. I actually think this would make an interesting video to make at some point. Where like it's really interesting. It's mostly in the UK. It's mostly a bunch of guys. It's never women. It's always dudes who are like, they're using like obscure maritime laws as like justification for like why laws don't apply to them, and how like their legal name in all caps is like their government code or something, and how if they use certain like legal terminology in court, they can be exempt from the laws.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, they think it's like a Harry Potter spell. Like they can say a certain thing to the cops, and the cops will just be like, "Damn, he's got me there," and then just like leave them alone.
It apparently involves like referring to the courtroom as a ship, like a marine vessel of some sorts. It's hilarious if you actually look into it. It's such a trip. People are weird, man.
That could be a giggle. Yeah. So send some of that my way. I'd love to see that.
Okay. So that's my pet peeve is nose idiots, I guess.
Nosers. Big sniffs. The tiny mouths on the loan.
Mouth breathers. Let's just call it that.
Nose breathers.
Nose breathers. Also, hay fever is another pet peeve. That's not a cool thing either. Don't have that. Well, I think you guys call it allergies. I like being able to breathe, so yeah, that's definitely that's low on my list of things I enjoy.
Breathing is overrated.
Oh, Lars.
Kudos. Before we wrap things up, can you go ahead and give us a song?
I've given you many kudos. Shit. Well, okay, give me a topic.
Being exempt from the law.
Dun, dun, dun. What's the Australian national anthem?
Guys being exempt from the law who also wear seatbelt shirts.
I don't know the Australian national anthem, but I do know the New Zealand national anthem in both Māori and in English, so I could sing that for you if you like.
Sure.
Do you want the English version or the Māori version?
The moldy version.
Shit. Okay. E o a atua ona iwi matora mana aki tia mai. Wait, I think I missed like a whole verse. Anyway, that's that's most of it.
Good job.
It's a God of nations.
Can you do that in a falsetto?
No, I don't know what that is. I don't believe in music. I can rap the start of Just Lose It Again.
People really want you to do in a falsetto. A falsetto is where you sing like this.
Oh, you guys are fucking ridiculous. Rice Pot says, I just took some gas station enhancement pills. Actually, did you notice that as well, Doplex? Did you, like, did all the depth from your voice go into your dick, and that's why you had such a big boner?
Oh,
maybe. I remember I was really lightheaded.
This is getting to ridiculous length. Let's go ahead and call it a close.
All right.
I'm sweaty and hungover and smell like shit.
Kudos, where can people subscribe to you?
So you can catch me on youtube.com/ricepirate. Be sure to subscribe there. Drop me a like. Tell me who I look like as well. Otherwise, follow me on Twitter at ManyKudos, and be sure to check out the Tijuana podcast.
Hey, fucker.
Ha, ha, ha. Ha, ha, ha.
Patreon, or my Patreon, for that matter.
Yeah.
I'll say mine properly, though. It's patreon.com/T1
podcast.
Kudos. But watch my content first. Don't just give me money.
Yeah.
I don't want your blood money.
You could make an early investment. Actually, I do want to say before we get out of here, how very proud I am of my boy ManyKudos for making it to the big old 50K. You're my boy.
Thank you so
much.
And
I'm proud of you, and you deserve all that and more. And
my favorite thing about finding some success on YouTube is that I can now grab my friends who deserve it much more than me and drag them up kicking and screaming with beautiful collabs and shout outs. So we'll
please, go ahead and make a community post. Go ahead.
And, not you, Lars. I was talking to Doplex.
Wow. I thought we bonded over talking in the DMs about enhancement pills. Wow.
You gotta, yeah.
Speaking of which, but I feel like we talked like not even remotely enough about like what we were actually wanting to get into about like the success of your channel and like the trials and tribulations. And
no one wants to hear about that.
Yeah, they do.
Whatever.
I think people are more interested about the yoga mats and
Queefs.
Subway sandwiches.
Mm-hmm.
But if you've listened this far, chances are you're probably willing to commit to stuff. And I'll tell you right now, you should definitely commit to subscribing to ManyKudos. It'll be the greatest moment of your life.
Mm-hmm.
You'll like the way
you'll
like the way you look. I guarantee you.
Watch the videos first. How about hey? Here's a free sample just for listeners of the T1 podcast.
Hey,
be sure to go and watch some of my videos first. You can watch them completely for free. And if you like that, consider dropping a sub. That's only to members of the Tier 1 podcast. Make sure you drop a comment as well saying Tier 1 a podcast sent me, and I'll know. I won't charge you.
Or just drop in italics, "Hey fucker."
Do that on Doplex's videos.
Yeah.
Say Leafy sent me. Oh, it's great because he can't defend himself. Just like a Yandere Dev sex doll.
All right, Doplex, where can people find the first podcast?
You could find us. You can find us at discord.t1podcast.com or you ready for this? Patreon.com/t1podcast, where you can get exclusives and some spicy shit.
Oh, there's music.
Taco Bell.
It's hard to hear it.
There's music. Oh,
you really need to fix your mic settings so we can actually hear the music.
Okay, all right. Let me do this a cappella. Let me spit it.
Yeah.
You go to patreon.com/T1 podcast and you can get some extra bonus shit that you wouldn't normally get for free. So that's kind of fucking cool. And then you can also listen live at discord.t1podcast.com, and you can participate in the chat like all the sweet boys here have been doing, sending us cool, nice, juicy memes so that we can look at while we do these.
And make editing even harder for Doplex.
Yeah.
Also, shout out to James Miller, who we didn't invite.
Oh, he did show up for a wee bit. Oh, that's awkward. We'll do another. We have to do another one of those 4-way things.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, Doplex, you got a joke for us to take us out?
Yeah. This is comedy. I'm backed in a corner. This is comedy.
Let's talk about it.
We're off
Guys,
to a hard start.
Elephant in the room.
Yeah.
And not a bad elephant, more like an elephant you'd want to fuck.
Oh. Okay.
Actually,
like
how about
your
this?
mom.
I'm gonna have to bleep that. Let's start over that train of thought.
Okay.
So
cut all
so
of
Lars,
this.
you mentioned something about wanting to fuck your own mum. What was that about?
Guys, keep it ad friendly for the first few minutes, please. All right.
But we want to know more.
So
we want you to elaborate on that point you made before we started.
God, shut up, guys. Okay.